Mic check. Mic check. You guys got me? All right, here we go. Let me get a thumbs up. You guys hear me? All right, good. All right, we got a different layout tonight. Let me tell you why we have a different layout. Give me a thumbs up. All right, here we go. The reason why you don't see my face is because we are, like I said last night, we are back in black. Uh, we're in that transition process of moving some things around, jumping to the new platform, um, which will be in place for Friday. So you guys know me. I truly don't appreciate, and that's just my opinion. I don't say appreciate, but especially with speaking on anything, it could be anything. I just want to, if I'm going to be behind a camera, I feel if I'm going to put my name on something, I'm going to show my face and not run from my name because there's nothing to run from. Um, that being said, tonight you see an avatar because we're moving some cameras around, setting up the new system, and unfortunately, now I have to eat crow because I'm using a freaking avatar. And I think I might have said at one point, I'll never use an avatar. Well, tonight I had no choice. And I'll But here we go. We got sound now. We should have sound now. We're good. Okay, we got sound. We should be good. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know we have sound. Oh, there we go. Give me a thumbs up, guys, if we got sound, or if you guys can give me a thumbs up if you see me. You see the avatar and we have sound. How about Davey T? All right, with double thumbs up. All right, we're all good. All right, so you could see me, the lion, right? You could see a lion. Thank you, Templar. All right, wasting too much time on this bullshit, but guess what, guys? This is it. StreamYard, and like I said last night, YouTube. Okay, there's an outage as well, which is awesome to know in the area. So that being said, let's just rock and roll, man. Let's just rock and roll. Let's go into the 80s. Let's kick it. So I want to talk about tonight, besides this, the music, and the thumbnail again talks about, we get into the music and the roller skating and stuff like that. I want to talk about something that went on in the 80s. I don't know if I could only talk about New York City. I remember, don't know the exact year. I could look it up, especially now that you don't see me. I could be, boy, now I really understand why these other people are using avatars. I mean, I could be eating, I could have a chicken colored Parmesan hero. Davey, Maureen, how are you, dear? Francis, I could be eating a chicken palm hero. Maybe a little macaroni. I could have anything here. You guys wouldn't know it. You might hear it though. So I'm gonna guess. I could look it up, but I'm gonna guess it was sometime around the mid '80s. Maddie's in the house, so I don't believe it was the '90s. I believe it was the '80s. I'll look it up, but somebody will know. We had there were many different situations. And unfortunately, they were race riots. And when I say race riots, there was a situation in Howard Beach, Queens. Now, I am from Queens. Howard Beach is from where I am in Queens. I'm in the most northern part of Queens that you could be in, which is, any closer, I'm in the Bronx. The only thing that separates us from the Bronx is that bridge. So that's really it. I'm like, if you were coming from the Bronx, New York, and headed over, whether it be the Whitestone Bridge or the Triborough Bridge, you did that a few minutes ago, right? You would be in my neighborhood. So that I'm trying to give you folks an idea. Now, Howard Beach, I would say, is close to being as southern Queens as you can go. Now, it's not South Jamaica Queens, but I could be wrong on this. Maddie, you're probably much better with the north, south, east, west thing, but Howard Beach is like borderlines Brooklyn. No, I'm not naked. Even though I knew it would be no camera, I realized that probably at about 4:00. I still dressed accordingly because my mother is here and my daughter is here. So I figured, you know what? Let me still behave properly. And I'm not that, being that we're going to, we brought that up. I'm not that kind of guy anyway. I know we didn't tune in to listen to that, but I grew up in a home where if we didn't wear a T-shirt in front of my mother, like in the summertime, if we didn't have a shirt on, when you're a teenager, it's hot, you want to wear take your T-shirt off. Well, that consisted of a crack in the back of the head, because that was considered being disrespectful. Now, I wasn't a choir boy either, but I'll just put that one to bed. So, yeah, Maddie, I want to talk about, thank you. It was 1986, so that puts me at 19 years old. Mom is doing great, Davey. So 1986, a crazy incident in Howard Beach. And the reason why I was trying to tell you about the distance is we're not close to Howard Beach. Yes, it's part of Queens, but I'm telling you, if you live in certain parts of Brooklyn, you're a lot closer to Howard Beach than I am. We're a good, from where I am in Queens, we're probably a 20-minute drive, 25-minute drive to Howard Beach. Matty grew up in that area. He would know, the exact mileage, but yeah, it's a distance. So if I remember correctly, and some of my facts might be, this isn't, verbatim, but I just remember, I believe it was a few young black men, kids, young kids. I think they were in their 20s, some teenagers. I'm not sure the exact ages. I believe they were walking around Howard Beach, and Howard Beach, especially in that era, look at the year 1986, was a very, 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 very strong, strictly, I'm not going to say strictly, Matty, right? I would say Howard Beach was a very Italian dominated neighborhood. And I was not from Howard Beach, didn't have friends from Howard Beach, but just knowing of Howard Beach was strongly of Italian influence. Yes, you had your share of Greek, Irish, I'm sure, as Matty grew up near there. Oh, there, exactly. So these kids from Brooklyn, or wherever they were from, decide to go into Howard Beach at nighttime. And whatever they were doing, I don't know what was going on. Again, I'm 19 years old in 86. And I just remember the next morning, supposedly, these kids go to Howard Beach. Some argument ensues. And before you know it, you have a bunch of other kids that are from Howard Beach, white kids, Italian, Irish, whatever they were, chase these black guys. And I believe they chased them on one of them. They all ran different ways. What do I remember? But one of them, I believe they chased onto, was it the highway or the conduit? Anyway, they chased them into a very, very, it might have even been the Bell Parkway. I don't remember exactly, but I just remember one of them got chased onto, whether he was chased for sure. They were all chased, and a foot chase ensued, and one of them ran onto a highway or a very heavily trafficked conduit. And he was struck and killed. Unfortunately, he lost his life. All of those young men were charged with, they all went to prison, all those kids from Howard Beach, 85%, there you go. All those kids went to prison. I believe, I don't know, I believe they're probably all home. I don't know what happened after that, but what I just want to talk about what ensued after that. So, again, I'm far from Howard Beach, but that did not stop. The black community was up in arms. If you were Italian, white, whatever, you had you could have been Spanish, but look white, you had a problem. So what happens is, I happen to be with a cousin. Now, he was about 4 years younger than me, 5. So he's about 4. He's about 15. And he was a wise ass, no question about it. But we're in Flushing, Queens at this time. Again, I tell you guys, we're probably 25-minute drive and maybe 12 miles, 13 miles from Howard Beach. It's far away. But what happens is, they were protesting like everywhere, a lot of the black youth. And it wasn't just youth, it was older, it was of all groups, all ages rather. And we get into, in Flushing, there's a heavily populated area with a lot of stores back in the day, and it's called Main Street Flushing. and that's known as the hot spot to go shopping, or OG Ruby, no different than like Southern or the Concourse, or I mean Fordham Road, Third Avenue, all the big shopping areas, you know. So what happens is I'm driving. Back then I had I believe I had an '87 Davy, Nikki, if you're listening. I had an '87 Maddie. I had an '87 Monte Carlo. It was one of them long ones. Remember the old one, the long ones, and it had the fins on the back. It was either that or a Cutlass, but it was long. I just remember it was a long car, freaking long, 4-door. So we get into this municipal parking lot, and out of nowhere, I'm telling you, when I say, it was just too many of the opposition that wanted blood. And we had nothing to do with that Howard Beach incident. Like I said, it was on. They were out for justice with anything that was, you had, Caucasian, white, Italian, Irish, whatever you are, it was on, so we just happened to be, even though it wasn't in Howard Beach, wrong place, wrong time, protest going on. They see us, they start screaming and they start chanting. And when I tell you, I don't want to overplay it, nor am I going to underplay it. If I tell you there was less than 100 of protesters, I wouldn't be lying. If I told you there was more than 100, I wouldn't be lying. My point is, it was too many to count. So they start chanting. At this point, yes, Al Sharpton, they had all Jesse Jackson. It was craziness. And they were protesting everywhere. They just happened to be protesting there when we were finished shopping. Long story short, you know me with my long story shorts, but I thought I'd start it off with this. They start chanting as we're going to this, they called it the municipal parking lots, where everybody parked, then you would go shopping in this area, Main Street Flushing. So we're getting ready. I'm probably about 20 feet to my car, and I told you, my 15-year-old cousin, and the protesters start chanting and screaming in unison, white boys, and white boys, and it's getting louder and louder, and they're getting closer and closer. But they're probably, when this is all going on, it's all going on like in slow motion, but yet, you don't have time to react. You don't have time to think. You're not counting. You just know automatically that fight or flight kicks in. So I'm 19, he's 15. What does he do? Rather than keep his mouth shut, let us get in the car and get the hell out of there, he's insulted that they're chanting what they're chanting. He decides to scream out, Howard Beach, Howard Beach, Howard Beach. What does that do? Well, that just incited them worse. Now the walk towards us becomes not a jog, very fast paced. I told him his name is Frankie. If he's listening, I'm sure he's not, but if he is, he comes across this, he'll know he was there that day and he knows what happened. I tell him, Frankie, get in the car right now. Get in the car right now. Jump in the car. I jump in the car. Now I'm behind the driver's seat. Again, I'm 19, he's 15. Now I get a good view of what's coming towards us. And again, they're really moving now. They're not running, they're not jogging, but it's if you want to call it speed walking, we'll call it that. And they're looking, we got no shot. There's no shot. Even if there was something in, let's say, and back then there was nothing in the glove compartment. There's no bats going to handle this situation. A hand grenade would have handled this situation. I didn't have a hand grenade with me. So they're probably about 20 feet from the car at this point, 30 feet. I start the car up. Guess what? Car don't start. But they don't realize the car don't start because there's so much noise going on. They don't hear it. They don't hear the clicking. Now, it wasn't a clicking like the battery was dead. Sometimes that car just did that. I knew it would start up. But I also knew that if I go to start it again, they might hear this time that it's not starting. And if they hear it's not starting, then they're going to die. Then they're going to run to the car, and there's no way we were fighting them off. So so I tell him in the car, I'm holding on to the wheel, so I'm making them think that the car's running, which, because there was so much noise. Now, whether they were going for that or not is another thing, but I'm acting like, because they're close enough now to see inside the windshield, so they could see. I'm making it look like my hand's on the wheel and I'm ready to drop it into gear, because that car had the gears on the floor. It wasn't on the wheel, so you would just drop it into drive or reverse or whatever from the floor. If you guys remember that car. So they're getting close. I told him, Frankie, we got one shot. I want to kill him anyway for saying that, but I knew I would deal with him later. I didn't know we were going to get out of here, if we could get out of here. That's how many are there, and that's how many are coming after us. And I go to start it. It starts up. They run now. They're they waited a little too long. Honestly, had they moved on it quicker, we're done. We're finished. We're probably, because they were looking to make example. I'm probably not here today, or it was going to be bad. We were done. So the car starts, throw it in drive, and you only have one shot, people. That's the bottom line. You really do. It's survival. It is survival. And you know what? They weren't going to listen to me beep the horn and say, "Can you please move?" So, you do what you have to do to get out of that situation. Yes, that's right, Maddie. So you do what you have to do to get out of that situation. You have hundreds of people trying to kill you. Well, that goes in your mind. I didn't think they were, going to rip us out of the car to say hello. That's for sure. Or ask us where the nearest bakery was, or where to get a good slice of pizza. You know what I mean? They wanted blood. 4 black youths were chased onto a highway, one which was killed. So, it was done by, Italian American or white kids, whatever, Caucasians, whatever you want, whatever word is used. So we're there. So the car starts, and there's no time to, can you please move? They're coming at us now. So drop the car and drive and gun it. And I don't want to ever sound blasphemous and quote the Bible, but I can only tell you the sea was parted, and right for the middle of the pack. That's the only way. There was no turning. There's no left turn. There was nowhere to go but forward. You're in a packed municipal parking lot with cars and trucks and pickup everywhere. There is nowhere to go but straight. So, and you got to get out of there. So gun it, and and then after the sea parts, you realize how many people were going to rip us apart. But as I whipped that left turn, that car had a long back. I remember that car. That car had, as they say, that car had balls. That car didn't have great pickup, but once you got that car moving, boy, that was a tank. And I just remember whipping it. And back then they didn't make speed bumps. You know how you have them speed bumps today? This was life or death situation, I believed. There was no question in my mind. Safety, our safety wasn't. First of all, getting out of there, it wasn't a promising proposition. I didn't think we were going to get out of there, and there was only one way to getting out, and that would be to use the car, as a way to get out. And if that meant, again, I got to get home at that time to my mother and father. And I was at 19, believe it or not, I was engaged, ready to get married. I got married young. So there was a lot, at stake, and we were going to get it. So I'm not, this is nothing to say, do I think somebody might have got hit with that car or anything like that? It was a crazy situation. Yeah, it was kind of like that Delta 88. It might have been the car. I don't know if it was the Monte or the Cutlass, but it was long. It was the 87. We could look it up. We'll go over it. And I just remembered it had that Con Edison blue. If anybody knows what that Con Edison in New York City looks like, that color blue. I don't know what you call it. It's ugly. And it had the white, what do they call rag top? It's like a rag top, kind of. And no, they tried to block us in, Maddie, but maybe at that point, 20, 30 feet, I gunned it. And like I told you, there was no left or right. It was blocked off. So I had to go right for the middle of the pack. That was the only way out. There was no stopping the car, putting it in park and saying, excuse me, can you please move? Or even stopping the car, locking the doors and beeping the horn. No, you can't do that. They're going to break your windows and pull you out. You can't do that. So imagine, I'm not going to talk about it. Imagine what my only option was, not his. He's 15. The only option is, in your mind what that is. Imagine yourself, say no more. There's only one choice. You got to survive, right? You're outnumbered by hundreds. They're going to kill you. They're going to hurt you bad. You and your stupid cousin for opening his mouth. Now, do I think we would have got attacked anyway? Absolutely. But we would have had a lot more time to start the car, make the left turn, and get out of there. But it didn't work out that way. And thank God we did get out of there. But it was straight forged through. And I'll say no more after that. Because I really don't know what the outcome was as far as, injury-wise or anything like that. I do know this. We got out of there. And we got home to our families. Now, he did get, let's just, he was family, but he got reprimanded, let's put it that way, for opening his mouth and running his mouth, for being stupid, because it could have got him killed and me killed. So, and again, I'm 19. I'm not with nothing. This ain't part of nothing. There ain't no mob shit here. This was, a situation that occurred in an all-white Italian neighborhood, but the black population back then were protesting every Italian neighborhood, white neighborhood, anybody they could get their hands on, they were going to get their hands on. So I thought I'd kick it off with that story that was going on. You could look it up if you and read about it. It was a crazy story. I think they might have did a documentary on it. I'm not sure. Matt would probably be able to tell you more. Again, now that's a neighborhood he came from, he grew up in, and that was just a crazy moment. And I actually thought about that as I was trying to figure this avatar out, and I was thinking, that was a crazy talk about adrenaline. That was an adrenaline-filled 30 seconds or whatever it lasted, because you don't have time to think. So moments like that make you I don't know. I don't want to say you never want honestly, you don't want to look for violence. You don't want to be part of that. But it teaches you better think quick. So your mental processing, as we would say in football, better be fast, or you'll be a victim. And thank God we weren't a victim that late afternoon, because it was late in the afternoon. Anyway, let's go on to something a little bit more subdued. Let's talk about, I know we like the music. Timmy, by the way, folks, Timmy's not with us tonight because Timmy, my man Timmy Irish, is under the weather, and he's not feeling well. And we all just shout out, give a little love to Timmy Irish. I appreciate it. Timmy's a big part of what we do here, behind the scenes. Now lately, wanting to be part, come on camera, and we love him. I love him. He's such a help. So he's under the weather. He's gonna be fine, but he's just under the weather. But yeah, New York was crazy. So like we were talking, we're jumping around, and we're gonna jump around in this series. Like, yeah, he'll be all right. So now we go back to, I break Timmy's chops. With that, we were doing that whole taxi Jim thing, and that guy, what was his name, Jim? He played the drunk on Taxi. So me and my wife actually were talking about it, like, what were some of the TV shows of the 80s? Like, what were the big shows? So if anybody could think of, and we're gonna get into music. We'll talk about a lot of stuff, and with this, guys, look, we're just reminiscing here. This is one of those reminiscent type things. So what I'm trying to think, like, so we had Taxi. I'm trying to think now as we're talking. What were some of the big hit shows? Was Hill Street Blues? Cheers. Was that in it? Okay. Cheers. Do you guys remember Hill Street? Welcome Back, Carter. All right, Josie. I like it. MacGyver. Okay. Was the Jeffersons is the 80s or 70s? All right, we'll go 80s. So then that means. So then you had if you had the Jeffersons, did we have Good Times in the 80s, or was that 70s? Because that was a great show. What about Hill Street Blues? Is that 80s? Hill Street Blues? Does anybody remember Hill Street Blues? Cheers. Beretta. So Starsky and Hutch, that's 80s? So Starsky and Hutch must have been 80s. So Dukes of Hazzard. All right, now we're talking. So if those are 80 chips, Dukes of Hazzard, Starsky and Hutch. So as a kid, I loved Starsky and Hutch. I like Beretta, but Starsky and Hutch was my show. Like out of the cop shows, like Starsky and Hutch, like me and my brother, one of my brothers, we would, I forget if I was Hutch or Starsky. Robert Conrad, yeah, Wild Wild West. Robert Conrad, he was the one I dare you to knock the battery off his shoulder. Hill Street Blues. All right, so you confirm, Bobby? All right. Now we're talking. Mama's Family. So oh man, give me a break. So wait a second. What's that? What's happening? Baba Black. What's happening? Is that the 80s? Because you said Nell Carter. That reminded me of, with Rerun and them. Was that Dukes of Hazzard? Yeah. Chips. There's got to be so many. What about the other one? Oh man, name some of your favorite. Love Boat. Oh, Fantasy Island. Friday. What was it? Friday nights. I was a kid. I used to watch Love Boat with my mother and Fantasy Island, and then at midnight I had to go across the hall to watch wrestling at midnight. The WWE was called back then after harness racing. That might be late 70s, could be early 80s, because my grandma was 13 when she passed. So we were watching wrestling still at midnight on Saturday nights. Does anybody remember when wrestling came on at midnight on Saturday nights back in either the late 70s or the 80s, early 80s, very early? Dynasty. Oh, God. Dynasty. Which one was with JR? Dallas. Is that the 80s or 90s? I am all screwed up, man. Murphy Brown. I remember my mother loved Magnum PI. My mother still loves Tom Selleck. Family Ties. Which is the one with Tony Danza? Is that Family Ties? And then you had the one with Michael J. Fox. Heat of the Night, great show. Heat of the Night was a great show. Toronto was a hub for wrestling. Is the Hart Foundation, was Bret Hart and them from there? Stu Hart and all them guys, are they Toronto based? Chris Jericho. I know Jericho's not part of the Hart Foundation, but I wonder, I know Stu Hart had a big school. I didn't know are they Toronto guys or Montreal? Taxi, great show. Absolutely. The Heat of the Night was a great show. My wife got me into watching The Heat of the Night. I still watch some of them today. They show them. Jeffersons were hysterical. Oh my God, Archie Bunker. All in the Family. That was the name of that show. Oh, Montreal. Okay, Francis. Night. Oh my God, what was his name? Night Court. What was his name? Bull. Who's the boss? Tony Danza. Is that the '80s, Osada? Wow, I don't know why I keep thinking some of this stuff. Yo, let me be straight with you guys about the Love Boat. And so, all right, if we could figure out what year the Love Boat was, I'm going to just tell you guys now. I'm trying to figure out what year the Love Boat was in syndication, like when it was a big show, and then Fantasy Island followed it. If we can find out that year of Love Boat, because I want to tell you something. I had Dallas was I Love Boat. OG Ruby 77 was Love Boat. Remington Steele, no. Knight Rider. Well, anyway, Punky Brewster, yeah. I loved TJ Hooker. Gerard, what's happening? We're talking shows, your favorite shows in television shows in 1980. Anyway, the Love Boat. I never told nobody this, so don't tell nobody. I loved Julie. I had a crush on Julie. What was her name in the show? Well, anyway, she was, you had Isaac the bartender, right? You had Doc, Captain Stubing, I think his name was, but Julie, whatever role Julie played in the show, yeah, I had a crush on Julie. Julie, I thought Julie I thought Julie, shit is so embarrassing. Yeah, I thought Julie was Wise Guy, Ken Wall, great show. Ray Sharkey, you know, I don't want to make this about that, but Ray Sharkey was around some guys and real, you know, he was around guys in real life, died a horrible death. HIV. He died of AIDS when, like Freddie Mercury and a lot of those guys in the 80s, when there was nothing. They had no medicine for them, no cure for it at all. Zero. MASH, you know, Gerard, I'm going to be honest. My mother loved MASH. I couldn't, I couldn't watch it. But Love Boat was my, because I would tune in for Julie. I'm telling you, Starsky and Hutch, that was like my go-to. You know, I don't remember the years, but Starsky and Hutch was great. Webster, fun, good show. Yeah, I wasn't, I remember, of course, Doogie House. I remember Doogie House. It wasn't really like into it, but beyond. I was into like the Starsky and Hutches, the Jeffersons, the Love Boats, Fantasy. I loved Alf was a funny bastard. I used to love Fantasy Island. I thought that was a good show. All I remember from Moonlighting with Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd, Three's Company, great show. One of my favorites. I thought John Ritter was hysterical, great actor. Different Strokes I liked. Yo, this is good shit. This is good stuff. We're talking good stuff. I remember I didn't watch that show, Moonlight. Lauren Twos. Wow. I Dream It. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me take it back. Yes, I had a crush on Julie. I also had a crush on Jeannie, Barbara Eden. That was a beautiful woman. And Charlie's Angels, all right? I'm going to tell you guys right now. Yep. Out of all the Angels, take a guess, guys. Who do you think I loved? Out of all the Angels, take a guess. Who did Craig have a crush on? Out of all the Angels, who did I think was the hottest, most beautiful woman in there? It's not who you're going to think. That's the hint. Come on. Somebody out there, tell me which Charlie's Angel did Craig Gatto think was smoking? Smoking. Nope, not Kate Jackson. Nope, not Kate Jackson. And she wasn't ugly. Not Kate Jackson. Sabrina was Kate Jackson. Was that her name? And it wasn't Farrah Fawcett, so that only leaves who? Jacqueline Smith. Wow, that woman is still beautiful. Still beautiful to this day. To this day. Yeah, no, and not to say any of the other women weren't. Just Jacqueline Smith. Wow. I remember just saying that is a beautiful, and I'm young. I don't. it's going to be crazy. I find out I was like 30 when no, I think I was in my teenage years. But yeah, I thought Jacqueline Smith out of all the Charlie's Angels was the best. I'm not going to say but yeah, that's a word I think we use. Raquel Welch was yeah, a gorgeous, amazingly beautiful woman, no doubt. My dad had a thing. My pops had a thing for Raquel, no doubt. You know who I thought was a beautiful woman, Dave? Now we're getting into beauty. This is great. I love this shit. We just go from one to the other. Remember Jane Kennedy? She used to do some of the football uh, with back then with Jimmy the Greek and Herb Smith and my man Brent Musburger. Jane Kennedy sometimes would report from the field. I thought Jane Kennedy was beautiful. You had Linda George. She was on the set. Kojak, great show. Who loves you, baby? All right, you like Jacqueline? Dave, do you remember Jane Kennedy? If you look, I don't know. Maybe I was just young. Wow, she was beautiful. Like, no different than, I remember the young ladies, Miami Vice. I know that's 90s, but our Barney Miller. Oh, come on. Barney Miller, what a show. Great show. Great show. I liked, what's his name? I liked all of them. They were all funny bastards. Of course, Abe Vigoda. But no, the other guy, he had the glasses. Funny. Oh, my God. What was his name? Oh, man, Jacqueline Smith. Oh, you're bringing her name up. Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. Beautiful woman. Beautiful. Beautiful woman. You guys remember when, I don't know, remember when that movie... Yeah, Joe C. Maybe you're right. No, but you know what's crazy, Joe? Oh, no doubt. But you know what's crazy? No, I identified like like they were different. Yeah, they were all beautiful, but there was Jacqueline Smith. There was something. Maybe it was the hair. Maybe it was the cheekbones. Maybe same thing with Raquel Welch. The cheekbone. Maybe that's it. Now that I'm looking at it, the high cheekbones. Like if you look at Raquel. Yes, her and Jacqueline Smith, two totally different looks, but kind of high cheekbone, both of them, right? Maybe I'm wrong. What do I know? Maybe I was just a young kid, like you said, but I don't know. Jane Kennedy, oh my gosh, she was beautiful. What I remember, I just remember Jane Kennedy. Oh, Taxi, man. I get Nick Lev, testosterone. There you go, Joey. Absolutely. Yeah, wow, these TV shows are great, man. What a time, boy. We miss them. Hill Street Blues was a great show. Remember what was the name? The actor. Penn State guy. Absolutely. Linda Carter. Wow. But we're talking which was the hottest Charlie's Angel, Chris. I said Jacqueline Smith, but FloJo, oh man, beautiful woman. What a shame. Yeah, absolutely. What a shame. But, like everything in life, just like, hey, you ladies out there, you all had your crushes. I remember everybody loving, I know it's maybe not 80s, but everybody loving, at least around here, I used to hear everything about Don Johnson in the Miami Vice days. Don Johnson. Oh, Don. I remember as a kid, all the young girls liking Leif Garrett. Remember Leif Garrett? He was like a little singer dude. I don't know what he did, but anyway, I used to, yeah. But you, ladies, talk to me. Do you guys who John Stamos? All the girls love John Stamos, Leif Garrett. The group Menudo, they love all the kids from Menudo. Ricky Mons later in life, but no, I'm talking about from the women. Ladies, don't hold back. Let us know if there are any ladies in here. John Stamos, yep. Scott Baio, yep. Everybody loves Scott Baio. I got to meet Scott Baio, and I was doing a construction site, working in Central Park. I told the story about a situation on a job in Central Park. And on that job, Scott Baio was walking through the park. He's a decent guy. He was already a star. and he was a gentleman. He was a young man, but I was younger. Uh, cool cat, cool cat. Didn't think who the shit, who he was. Scott, did you like Scott Bale, Ruby? Tell me the truth, Ruby. Oh, Francis like Charles Bronson. Oh yeah, you like the tough guys. She liked the old Patrick Swayze. Woo, Rick Springfield, keep them coming, Terry. Wow. Rick Spring. I think my wife liked Rick Spring. My mother, Tom. Yeah, Tom Selleck. Yep. I'm trying to think. My wife thought. Do any of you guys like Billy Idol when he was young? I'm trying to think. Some of the music guys, the girls just go nuts for nuts. Donnie Wahlberg. Oh man, remember that? Remember that bad rap? No, that's Marky Mark. And when he was Marky Mark, New Kids on the Block. Sure, of course. Step by step. Ooh, baby. Oh my God. Oh man, I feel like playing music, but they'll shut us down. You know they will. And you don't want me singing, but they had New Kids. They're still touring. You imagine that? And Davey, that's your neighborhood. Vince Neil. Yeah? All right, Leaf Garrett. I remember, I'm telling you, I was going out. I forget who it was. I was going out here. Yeah, I was a kid. And I was, you holding hands with somebody at that time, my age. And I remember her always, oh, I love Leaf Garrett, Bo Derek. Yep, that movie 10, whatever year that was. Maureen, you like Prince? OG Ruby, Tommy Lee, another rough guy, huh? David Lee Roth, the girls loved him. Oh, yep, absolutely. What was that show? 21 Jump Street, something like that. Richard Grieco, yep. More so, I think they used to talk more about Richard Grieco, right? Than Johnny Depp. Francis, at one time, honestly, I could hold my own. But no, I after you listen, you probably didn't listen to hear me sing "Love on the Rocks." It just I was never Pavarotti, but I could hold my own because I would be crazy, make people laugh. So I was singing karaoke so much when I when I was tuned up that it became a normal thing. And I was never ashamed or embarrassed. It didn't faze me one bit. I enjoyed making people laugh or whatever it was. So, to me, I was having fun. But yeah, the Wahlberg. Yeah. Baywatch, it's good to see you, pal. We're talking 80s, man. We're talking from everything from the best TV shows to some of the greatest music songs. We're talking everything. New Kids on the Block just came up. Marky Mark, Good Vibrations. That might be 90s, though. But now Baywatch just made me think. Good for you, Francis. Yeah, you go through. We get one shot at this. We can make it right. We're gonna do something. I'm gonna do it. We don't get another shot. Yeah, I remember a lot of the young ladies loving Billy Idol, Maddie. I could be wrong. Patrick Swayze, Don Johnson. They love them. And on the guy, like on my end, I told you, Jacqueline Smith. Oh, she was smoking. I don't remember like there being young girl groups, so that's why I'm going to the older women. I'm a kid looking at. Maybe that's just a guy thing that we liked as teenagers. We liked older women. Is it just me? Anybody wants to share in on that? Jump in. John Stamos, right, Ruby? Everybody, I remember all the girls loving John Stamos. I think Ricky Martin was with Menudo. So before they found out he was a sausage kick, I can't say that. Before they found out he played for the other team, everybody loved Ricky Martin, right? If I'm correct, and the other kid, I used to hear the Spanish girls talk about that kid. I forget his name. I think it was Miguel. They used to call him. But yeah, then all the kids from New Kids on the Block. Everybody like, who were the hot girls in the 80s? What was it? What was that? Rip Fruity Martin. Yeah, I try to say it the right way because, we're about to get tossed anyway. But so, frigate, say what you got to say. Where that? Ruby, remember that one? Where that? You her? Ruby's laughing. I know she's laughing right now. You her? In the Bronx, they used to, in the projects or, any neighborhood where they thought the, Popo was around, you'd hear somebody say, They would just be screaming, making like animal sounds. Ruby, if Ruby's laughing, I and only she knows if I'm accurate on that. That just let them know somebody was around. It's hot. Neighborhood's hot. They would just scream out like fucking whatever sound like a yeah, she's laughing. So I'm telling you, that's what happened. That's to let you know the boys in blue are around. And let you know. They're not going to scream out, po, po, po. Well, at one time, you hear po, 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 po. What? Then they start making noises. Yep. What was that show Screech was in? He turned out to be a real creep anyway. But Cyndi Lauper. Now we're going to talk music. I liked Cyndi Lauper, and I thought her song "Time After Time" was a great song. A great song. And again, guys, I loved all types of music. We went through this with Timmy last week. Yeah. If I wish I'm telling you, once we get this other system set up, you guys could call in and he was messing with his own nephew. Are you kidding? Yo, it's sickening. It's sickening. Yo, that is Look, man, that is just, there's a price for that. I'm not even gonna go there. Vivica A. Fox, I thought was smoking. Lisa Bonet, yeah. Oh, there you go, Matt. You hit one. Phoebe Cates, Fast Times. Oh, what a movie. Fast Times of Richmond High. Mr. Hand. Remember when Sean Penn tells him, so like Mr. Hand, so like your time and our time, and my time, isn't it like our time? And when the pizza comes and he takes the pizza and he starts handing the slices to everybody else. That was a great movie. Oh, classic. Isn't it like our time, dude? Oh, Lori Loughlin, man. These are names I would definitely forgot. OG Mike. We're talking 80s, like Mikey. All the great music, all the great television shows, who we had crushes on. OG Mike, I'll let you know right now. To me, Jacqueline Smith was the hottest Charlie's Angel. But everybody's different, right? Everybody. Samantha Fox, no doubt. Lisa, smoking. To me. No, what's her name? My man, Judy Torres back in the day. A lot of people don't know. A lot of freestyle artists came from the Bronx. Again, I'm not a Bronx. I lived in the Bronx for 15 years, but in that area. But I'm a Queens guy. But a lot of the artists were Puerto Rican, and a lot were from the Bronx. So Judy Torres, I was when she was younger, was a very attractive woman. To me, again, it's all subject to opinion. I didn't. I told you. Cherry Coke came out in the 80s, yeah. Come on, Mike, tell me. OG, tell me. Charlie's Angels. Who's your angel? We know you. Everybody thought. I think it's the consensus. Everybody thought Raquel Welch was amazing, right? Madonna was beautiful at one time. Now after all the surgeries, it's scary to look at. It truly. Sheila Easton. I didn't mean Sheila E. Sheila Easton. She had some nice music. Steve Martin, funny bastard. Real Six Bobby, little girl. Go ahead, break that down for me, Maddie. Break that one down for me. I'm dying to hear OG Mike tell me who was his favorite Charlie's Angels. And Francis, I got to know, was Charles Bronson your dude? That was the dude for you? That was it? So none of you guys liked Arnold or nothing like that? Well, that's not really 80s, right? Arnold was the term. I forget term. Jeannie Easton had some beautiful music. Didn't she do a nice song with Kenny Rogers too? Maybe I'm wrong on that. Who did Islands in the Stream with Kenny Rogers? Remember that song, Islands in the Stream? Marlon Brando. You found, you're a good-looking guy, Marlon Brando. So did Francis, so I'm going to say an actor's name. I'm going to guess that you found him to be handsome. And Andy Garcia. Thumbs up, thumbs down for Andy Garcia. Look like the great McGaff. You know, I've heard you reference that name so much, Francis, early on, and I was always like, yeah, OG Mike ain't coming clean on who his lady was. Oh, Terry's giving a thumbs up. Francis, the great McGaff. I want to say I just don't know who the great McGaff is now. It's probably a personal thing, and that's cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm sure you say he was a handsome dude. He must have been a handsome dude. Bless him. But I remember, like, you know, especially like we're going back to the 80s. I remember him again. It was that Ricky Menudo thing when Ricky Martin was with Menudo and Leif Garrett, the John Stamoses. Oh, that was Dad. There you go. There you go. There you go, Francis. Your dad was a good-looking man, huh? All right. All right. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. And Mike, OG Mike is still hiding on me. He won't tell us who his favorite Charlie Angels was. All right, so we're going to skip on the Charlie's Angels thing. I thought Farrah was beautiful. I thought Farrah Fawcett was beautiful. It's just, I don't know. No, she's beautiful. Nothing. Yeah, all right. You know what? Gilligan's Island. Who was the best looking girl on Gilligan's Island? I'm trying to think. What was her name? Was it Ginger? Ginger? That was a great show. Oh man, that show was just Angie Dickinson. My father loved her. Angie, yeah, she was beautiful. Yep, nice looking. Yeah. Islands in the Stream was Dolly Parton. Okay, Cheryl Ladd, beautiful, no doubt, 100%. Cheryl Ladd, Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, beautiful song, no question. He's not saying that he ran out on us. He ran out. And Terry hasn't led on to Terry hasn't said too much. I like that. I like it. We'll shift. Give me some of your guys' favorite music stuff. What because I'm all over the board. I liked a wide range of everything outside of the heavy metal. And even later in life, there was some of the metal I could deal with. Today I could listen to some of it, and it has to be certain situations, like watching somebody train, work out, whatever, working, being in the gym, something like that. Alan Parsons Project, excellent. Absolutely. I know you guys are gonna laugh. I loved Ambrosia. I loved Toto. I liked, I said this already. I thought Ambrosia, David, what was his name? David Heck. Well, I think his name. I thought Rob Zombie's movies. I thought Rob Zombie's version of Halloween was the best version of any Halloween. I am not a big horror movie guy. I'm not. I just thought that version was great. There's a song by them I listen to every day for years. Can't find it again. Is that the name of it? Can't find it again for years? All right. I wish I could play it. They shut us down last week because I was playing music. And I tell you guys now, before we when we're going to be leaving YouTube and heading over wherever we're going to be heading, we'll do the best we can to make sure if we're going to get shut down, we get shut down the right way. So I'll figure out a way where we could have a party on the way out the door. No, it's a song. Yeah. Oh, you can't find it anymore. Well, if you could type in, do you remember any of the lyrics? We could probably find it just based off of lyrics. It must be. I'm gonna check, check. All right, we're good. I don't know why it keeps doubling up on us. All right, we're good now, right? With sound, we're good. We're good. All right. So I see it moving. So yeah, we're good. We should be good. So Cher had a song. So music to me brings me back to a place in time. Anything I hear, anything. So I guess being young, a lot happened, and a lot of memories in youth, like we all have, I guess. Um, so Cher had a song, "Tramps and Thieves." Gypsy Tramps and Thieves. I don't know if you guys remember it. So like I hear that song and I haven't heard it in years. I just remember sitting in the back seat, like it's a time and place. I remember sitting in the back seat of the car, driving to the Bronx. So mic check. Yeah, this thing keeps bugging on us, boys. Keeps bugging, but we're good. Yeah, so yeah, I even like Cher, the old stuff, Trams and Thieves. She had some other songs, but everything's a place and time. Ambrosia, I could hear their music, Doobie Brothers, it just place and time. I remember, what was it, Three Dog Night, place and time. I hear their music, I remember certain things. So it's crazy how you can hear music and, oh man, we hear it from the people of the town. They call us TMCs, Trans and Bees. And every night on the minute, oh, what a song. And play that money that no. Dun, 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 dun. I was born in the land of a traveling stone. Oh, great song. Yep, I remember sitting in the back seat heading up to the Bronx. What a song. So, most people say, man, this guy, he says this and that. Oh, Three Dog Night. No doubt, no doubt. I mean, Three Dog Night was great. I mean, again, man, we could. It's just like that's why honestly, some songs you could get lost up, and you could get caught up in that, that melancholy thing that you don't want. You want it to be a good thought, but like some of those songs can bring back people you miss so much, even so many years later, or you know what I mean, and you don't want to get caught up in it, so I'll find myself shutting it off, or not all, not everything. Yeah, and then of course there's times you're listening to it, but you go an hour, 2 hours in, and you find yourself you feeling, music can bring up, so many different emotions. Maybe just for me, I don't know. No, that's true, Bobby. So you got me, you got me. It's no different than yes, Chicago. Wow. See, I like Santana, Chicago. Come on. If you leave me now, 25-6 none. Oh my God. The Chicago had hit after hit. I heard Matty saying the other night he thought something about he didn't like Sticks. I love Sticks. I appreciate. I'm not afraid to. I love ballads. I love the R&B. I like. Again. I liked music. I listened to, and then we're talking about this stuff, and then bopping, breakdancing, and roller skating. The crazy dance music. I mean, crazy good shit. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember Madonna was huge. Gypsy's Transit Thieves is a classic, no doubt, no doubt. Another rainy day in New York City. I remember that song by who sang it? It was called Native New Yorker. I remember being young and hearing that song, and I liked it immediately as a youngster. I was young too. Remember that song, Native New Yorker? I forget who sang it. I mean, you give me a minute, I'll remember who sang it, or I could pull it up. But if it'd be so easy to just freaking put it on. Yeah, Cher. I seen Cher in concert, and I'm going to tell you, she put on a show. The pace of her show was incredible. Sticks. Oh man. Yeah, the pace of her show was incredible. I mean, yeah, I liked a lot of Cher's music. Sticks. I was a huge Sticks fan. No, they're Renegade. My Steelers come out to Renegade, so you know that. Odyssey sang Native New Yorker. Absolutely. There you go, Bobby. There you go. Give me a couple of bars. You see, with the next streaming service, not only could you guys call in and ask a question, we'll figure out a way to do some karaoke shit on it. Now I'm going to call your guys' bluff. Chicago's first huge hit, I'm a Man. Matty, my pops was a huge Chicago guy. So again, like I said, I grew up listening to Lou Rawls, Barry White, the Drifters, all of that stuff, all that, beautiful music, stylistics, all of that. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. So, Chicago, man, I immersed myself listening to Chicago. And then later on, REO Speedway, again, forget it, Air Supply. I liked all that, Billy Squire, all of that. Then I became like my favorite band. I was a huge Foreigner fan. I liked Journey. Yeah, of course. I mean, who didn't? But, I loved Foreigner. I loved Lou Gramm. I thought he was phenomenal. But, most people say that's bubblegum. I liked Kiss, on the rock end. It was an acquired taste. I love Van Halen, Native New Yorker was a great song, I'm telling you. Billy Squire, great. He had that. Scorpions. Scorpions was a great group. I thought Scorpions was a really good group. Asia. Scorpions had some hits. They were, I think one of my sons told me, Lil Pip told me, that the Scorpions, I believe it's the Scorpions, they're an all-German band. They don't speak English, but yet they sing in English. I believe it's the Scorpions. I'm almost positive it's the Scorpions. My pops is from Chicago. Really, Davey? Oh, that's how you became a Bears fan. Yep, it's passed down. You see, my pop was a Joe Namath Jet fan, but because I played for a team called the College Point Steelers, and I became a huge, crazy Steeler fan, I was able to turn the whole crew into Steeler fans. But everything else, we were all Yankee fans because of Dad. And, you had no choice in this house. You were a Yankee fan, and I told you, I live 5-6 blocks, not far, half a mile from the old Shea Stadium City Field. But we were Yankee fans. So when the Mets won in '86, while everybody was beeping horns and going nuts at 2:00 in the morning, we were on the top of my building throwing eggs at their cars. Yeah, we were hating on the Mets winning a World Series. Anyway, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, though. It's good stuff. REO had so many hits, man. Air Supply. And I don't know why I think of I hear REO. I think a little bit, maybe same type of ballad stuff. But they had some big hits, man. Air Supply had some big hits. You guys remember Rick Astley? That might be '90s though, right? Never gonna give you up. I just seen him recently. He looks exactly the same as he did back when. Unbelievable. Yeah, I liked Foreigner. Yeah, I'm sure they did. But you know what? I liked them. I thought they were good. Jukebox Heroes, Head Games. I forget about the regular Def Leppard. I learned to, yes, Maddie, I could not believe that they barely speak English and yet they could sing like that in English. Just blows your mind. Kansas, Boston, those are great groups. Great groups. Great groups. And then, like we were talking, we can go into the Tommy Jameses and you know, we didn't talk about the Rascals, the Little Rascals, or Latin Rascals, not Latin Rascals. That was the freestyle group, Tony Moran and Noel. But the Little Rascals, right, with Felix Cavalieri, Groovin', It's a Beautiful Morning, I've Been Lonely Too Long. Those are unbelievable songs. I think I've Been Lonely Too Long might be my favorite, but no, Beautiful Morning, I don't know, Groovin', come on, those are crazy, great songs. But not for everybody, It's everybody has their own taste. And you had a friend from Turkey. He showed me a band where the singer is a lawyer and he has both arms. You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I'm forgetting because I'm so used to seeing my own freaking face on screen that I'm forgetting. Oh, don't even bring up the Bee Gees. Yeah. Now, they had so many hits, but I'm going to surprise you with one of my favorites they do. Too Much Heaven is one of my favorites. Now, and I liked most of them, 99.9. And I thought Barry Gibb's work with Barbra Streisand was phenomenal. But Too Much Heaven, if you listen to that song, incredible. Incredible, the lyrics in that song. The Rascals, Bobby, incredible. Right, Bobby? I've been lonely too long. I've been lonely too long. Oh, man, that was good stuff. Beautiful Morning, Groovin'. Tony Orlando and Dawn. Remember them? Tony Orlando and Dawn. Knock 3 Times, Candida. Tie a Yellow Ribbon. Am I going too far back now, guys? And then we got our 80s breakdance music, right? From It's Just Begun was one of the biggest breakdancing songs that I groove to. I loved. Craig, what blows my mind is how singers sound American. Yeah. And you know what's crazy? At 57, at my age now, it's crazy. Like, it blows my mind how many great singers I had no clue are English. Like, I told you this when I did the security thing on Duran Duran. I love Duran Duran. I mean, I know we're not going 80s yet. Maybe they had a late 80s hit one, but I like Duran Duran, Queen. So many of these groups came out of England or Europe. Yeah, amazing shit. What my man from what is it, Marshall Tucker? Well, they're from my Lil Pip was telling me the guy he's nasty on that flute. Oh my God, I don't know if it's Marshall Tucker. The guy is unbelievable on that flute. Maddie, you guys will be able to tell me. Yeah. Francis, what was your favorite Bee Gees song? Anybody got their favorite? I know you're gonna tell me 9 Feet. How Deep Is Your Love? Andy Gibb. Yep. Andy Gibb had some big hits. Anyone like Tony Bennett? I mean, yeah, especially a few. I wouldn't say I was, a huge Tony Bennett guy, but he's a Queens guy coming from Long Island City, I believe, Queens or Astoria. It's kind of like borders each other. So, but I think he's a Long Island City guy like James Caan. But yeah, I liked Want to Be Around, Tony Bennett. He had a lot of songs, a good bunch that I like. That's yeah, Matt. That was my go-to in karaoke. Oh my god! And you got to picture this. Picture me having a couple in me, you know, and I would sing this song, and it was a packed Chinese restaurant, and the lounge was crazy with all my friends. We were out of control, but they loved us like because we were, we were there for fun. We did, but the restaurant was always packed when karaoke. That was, they were giving them a show, like kind of, but like I was the wild man. Like I'd be singing, I'd take the mic, I go into the people are trying to eat, and I'm going into the crowd like it's a concert, and they're eating dinner, trying to have their wonton soup, and I'm singing "Knock Three Times" or Candida, right in their face. They're trying to dip their noodles into the mustard, and I'm in the guy. Jethro Tull, that's the guy. Yeah, unbelievable. Yep. I stand by any. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why do it then? That's my point. Yep. Take a letter, Maria. That's a great song. But yeah, Knock Three Times. Dreamweaver was another one I would do. Oh my God, they're coming back to me now. Remember that song, Dreamweaver? I think it was a guy by the name of Gary something. Speaking of Gary something, who remembers Gary Puckett and the Union Gap? Phenomenal group. Young girl, woman. Boy, that some woman crushed his life. Young girl, woman. This girl is a woman now. Think about the names of his songs. He had a phenomenal voice. Either he was a pedophile, honestly, or he just Gary Wright sang Dreamweaver. But think about Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. The names of all his big hits. Young girl, woman. This girl is a woman now. Lady Willpower. They all had something to do, and they're all great songs. Right? Just look at his. I mean, I love the group. I loved his music. But when you listen to every song, it was about somebody crushing his heart. It was about another girl. And he hit some notes that were incredible in that song. This girl is a woman now. Yeah, that's crazy. No, ZZ Top, Terry. I got to tell you, I'm going to be honest. Ian Anderson, yeah, with Jethro, absolutely amazing. On my Lil Pip got me to appreciate his work on the flute. Unbelievable. Oh man, Davey, we walk into the pizzeria. I would get my quarters lined up, whatever it was, and I would go right to Foreigner and play. It's funny, Jukebox Heroes or Head Games. Oh man. And you remember in the diner, I don't know if everybody must have had them back in the diners. You had the little jukebox at your table. Gary Puckett could really sing, absolutely. You had the little jukeboxes at your table, and people used to get embarrassed because other tables would hear, oh, don't play that. They're going to hear that. Hell no, I'm playing whatever I want to play. I don't give a shit who hears it. Glenn Campbell, Rhinestone Cowboy. Gary Puckett, I'm telling you, Gary Puckett could hold his own with anybody. I mean, he had a great voice. But again, subjective to opinion, right? Subjective to opinion. But the roller skating years, we touched on some of this great. Welcome Back, Carter, Gary. Oh man, yeah, man. I mean, think about it. I mean, we don't want to just be labeling people to label them, but shit. Mama's in the laugh out loud. Papa Gino's everywhere too. You doing the same thing. Now you just made me think of the Mamas and the Papas. I know it's not 80s, but some of their songs, because now we're talking music, my mind just goes everywhere. Grassroots. Me and Nikki were talking about the other night. Grassroots. Midnight Confessions. Live for Today. Oh man, those are powerful songs. For me, I again. Very wide range. I like a lot. It's hard for me. There's not much. Yeah, there's stuff I'm not gonna. Games people play. Great song, great group. Oh man, Francis, that's great. That's great. My man sang. It reminds me of games people play. Reminds me of he used to sing a song called. It was Jack and Jill. Jack, Jack. What was his name? Ray Parker Jr. He had a couple of songs with more R&B. He had a couple of beautiful songs. Ray Parker Jr. Again, I'm going R&B now. I'm really switching it up. Yeah, I can't keep my mind straight on one thing. Mark Brolin, T-Rex. Yeah, straight up. Yeah. Oh, I knew Pete Townsend. Yeah, no question. Oh, you know the price, the ultimate price they need to pay. I won't get it. Oh, great song, Bobby, Bobby. That's just classics, classics, classics. Davey, the roller rinks, such a part of my youth, man. 13, 14, 15, whatever it was, man. 16 even. That's when we were going to I told you that rink that our football coaches had in the Bronx. We would go, and that was at nighttime. So that was real big leagues. But the other ones, when I was 12, 13, 14, we would go at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It was right under where Shea Stadium was. And yeah, Mark, yeah, and we were, oh man, that's when it was like our first chance. You felt you were in the disco, but on skates. So you were getting the music, and it was really setting the tone for what would come later on with the club scene and all of that. And again, I got married young, so yeah, I had my, I went out, and shit like that. But I was married young, children young. So at 21, I'm married. 22, I already have, I have my first child. I have my daughter at 22. So I'm not doing the club thing. I'm doing other things. So it's not until, yes, I had my share of nights, that, ladies night out, or, guys night, whatever. Yeah. And I had family that they were into this, they were into the, they had pieces of clubs, they were in the business. So, it wasn't that we couldn't get into clubs. I'll never forget there was a club here on Northern Boulevard, and actually the Son of Sam made the club famous. It was called Eliphas. One of his victims were there. 210th Street, Northern Boulevard. New Year's Eve, I'm 15 years old. So New Year's Eve, I'm 15. We go to this club, Eliphas. Son of Sam had killed that young girl there, and we get, we're not supposed to. My brother's not supposed to be taking me to a club for New Year's Eve. I'm 15. How am I getting in? Not only that, not only do we go to the club, me, two of my friends, we get in the club. My brother's got his girlfriend, who later became his wife. My other brother, his girlfriend. Not only do we get in the club, but I decide I sneak a couple of drinks at 15 and I start break dancing in the club, and I wipe out like a whole bunch of dudes, men, grown men. I'm 15, break dancing on a disco floor. I know nothing about the club scene. Davey, I wipe out. I'm trying to get into it like some windmill type of move, and I wipe out or a backspin, and I wipe out like four people. I had a couple of drinks. I'm 15. I couldn't handle much. And what ensues? Us getting beat up by 40-year-old men. I mean, it was, but you know what? So then I came home with a big black eye, and, Pop just finished saying, you better stay out of trouble. You better not go out. You better not go nowhere. Don't go too far. Yeah, so Pop said, don't go too far. So after I wiped out everybody at the disco doing a backspin on the dance floor, they all charged us. And
And we were young kids. My brother was being the oldest. Maybe he was 18, and we're fighting 40-year-old men. And they got hammers, bats, elephants. Yeah, big nightclubs. Understand? And we got our asses whooped. But you know what? We did the best we could. But I had to come home with a black eye after being told not to go out. My brother being told make sure he didn't take me nowhere, where I'm not supposed to be. And of course, nobody listened. So we all paid the price for that night. And yeah, I won't go into the men that beat us up. They paid a price too, but not for me. I was a kid. But yeah, I don't know what made me go into a backspin on the middle of a dance floor at a disco. That'll just tell you I was a rookie. I was a rookie, in the disco scene, or on the dance floor, in the nightclub scene. We'll call it the nightclub scene. You know, full backspin, Davey T. Full backspin, middle of a dance floor. Having major issues with this service. Anyway, I am. I hope you guys. Sorry to. I hope we had fun tonight and keep this 80 things going. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy it. Unfortunately, tonight I don't have any music to take us out with, and you definitely don't want me singing us out. I thank you guys so much for coming in, even to like this. I enjoy this show. We'll make it better. If I got to start looking for popular people from the 80s to interview, we're gonna do that. We'll find them. We'll get them. I'd like to get some of these owners of the clubs back in the day, these roller rinks. I still say, Davey, man, I would love to open up if I had the money, and you never know in life, right? I would love to open up a roller rink and bring that shit back. Bring that back. Get that roller skating going. It's good exercise at minimum. Let the youth experience no alcohol, but yet feeling that music, roller skating, talking to people up close, not over a computer, that personal interaction thing. And then, you know, at nighttime, turn it into what it was. It was a club on wheels. That's what it was. That being said, I love you guys. I hope you had some fun tonight. I hope, it's just, yeah, it's awesome just shooting the shit. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy this. Yeah, I just want to say goodnight because this thing keeps screwing up, but we'll see you Friday night with Man of the Hour, Too Sweet to Be Sour, Jimmy D. And then we'll make some announcements and we're gonna be doing some, you'll see. We got this. We got this. But we're not gonna rely on YouTube, like I said, because they don't want they're shut. Listen, there's a lot bigger shows, much bigger than us that are getting shut down and demonetized. And I don't play good with the rules, and I'm not going to be censored by nobody. Um, Respectfully, if I got something on my mind, I'll try to do it, say something respectfully, as nice as I can. But my point is my point, and that'll never change. And I don't expect you guys to ever change the way you are in the chat. That's why this other thing's going to be good because you'll be able to express it if you want with your voice, with the service. And if you want to show your face, it'll be like a phone call, like a FaceTime phone call. So with that being said, I'm sorry we got no music going out. Devil Salerno, Maddie, Bobby, Francis, Maddie, OG Ruby, Davey T, Nikki, Osada, Bobby, my man, Penn State guy, Terry, Baywatcher, Francis, a lot of fun tonight. I mean, I enjoy this shit. I mean, I know we just shoot the breeze, but I don't know. Gerard, thank you for popping in, man. Maureen, OG Ruby, give me a holler. You know that. Francis, all you guys, give me a holler whenever you want. Yeah, Bobby, everybody knows. Everybody here's got my access to me. Anytime you want to call, give me a shout. All good. That's who we are. That's who it's supposed to be. All right? All right, guys. You guys have a great night. Yeah, Mama Italian, she said, you got it. You guys be well, be safe, and we'll see you Friday night. Unfortunately, we got no music to go out to, so I'll just say good night. Chris Chalk, the man. I like Chris Chalk. Good people. Chris, sorry, brother. We wrapping up. We had some fun tonight just talking 80s. So Wednesday night, we doing 80s. We just shoot the breeze on the 80s. Everybody have a great night. We got no music to go out to. Nothing, Chris. We're changing up systems. That's why I'm on an avatar tonight. But I'm getting out of that StreamYard. I'm going with Riverside, and we're setting some new things up. So be well, everybody. Be safe. Chris, thank you, brother. I always try to check you out. You got good stuff, man. Good music you play. I like your stuff. Delbo, awesome stuff. Everybody, thank you so much. See you Friday night with Jimmy DeMonica. All right, guys, be well. Good night now.